Hello and welcome back to my channel if you are an oldie but a goodie, and hello and welcome if you are new to this channel. On this channel we share a lot of book content, so I'm an absolute lover of books. I also do struggle with dyslexia, so there is on this channel dyslexia recommendations. A lot of these books I read I personally think are friendly for dyslexia so if you're wanting books like that, then this is the place to come to. Now in today's video I'm going to be doing my 8-book wrap up. One of them is on my Kindle because it was an advanced reader copy, but I will get to that in a second. So this is April's kind of book wrap up. I will also be doing May's TBR in another video that I'll be going up next week or the week after next. But let's get started on this video. Please also ignore the fact that if my voice goes a little bit, I'm recovering from a chesty cold and I ever so often do lose my voice still because I've still got a little bit on my chest, so pre-warning with me, but I feel good enough to film. So let's get ready. So in this video I finished a series. I read quite a lot of good books and a few I didn't like, so let's get started. I'll start with my all-time favourite books. Now if you follow me on TikTok you will know I've not stopped talking about them. It's this series by Katie Stewart. It's a Ravenhood series. This is Flock, Exodus and The Finish Line. I bought this one beginning of this month. Literally got it in, read it in about a couple of days. Then I got put on myself on a book buying ban until I've read 8 of my books on my actual shelves. Have I succeeded? No. Have I been buying books? Yes. So very kindly somebody I follow on TikTok very kindly bought me this book. I read this book in 2 days and then I needed to finish the series, so I just bought it. So the book buying ban didn't work because I bought a book, but basically these books follow this group called the Ravenhood, and it is about, how can I say this, it is about these group of people that band together to get rid of corrupt corporations, and it all started with this one person. I'm trying not to spoil it for you guys, but basically there is, how can I say it? I don't know how to explain this. There is a lot of heartbreak, there is a lot of loyalty, trust, there is bad boys in it, there is a lot of fights in it, and protection and if you touch it I'll kill you kind of vibes. And the first one is very, very, very smutty, kind of getting to know the two characters, but it also ends in a lot of heartbreak. But it's a beautiful start to the series. It keeps you hooked, but you don't really know a lot. There's a lot of secrets, but there's enough information to keep you going. But there's not enough information that you're like, I want to know more. But you fall in love with the characters. There's a lot, you fall in love with the characters. I struggle to explain this series so badly, but it's so amazing. Everyone I feel like just needs to read the series. And then the second one is kind of a carry-on on why you learn about why they've done it. This was only supposed to be these 2 books originally, and then it was BOOKTOK that made Katie Stewart write the 3rd one. But basically this one, so this book starts with 6 years before this. So it starts off 6 years before this book, and then we go back in time to when she's 19, Cece, the main character, and then you learn about how she gets introduced to the characters, and you learn about getting knowing them and learning more about them, etc. And then this book starts with the ending of this one, and it starts like that, and then you learn and then I don't know how to explain it. It's so hard to explain this book. A lot of my TikToks explain more because I can explain things better in photos, which is really strange. And then you learn about this, and then this one halfway through goes to 6 years later, which is the beginning of this book. And then you learn about how knowing about these people have changed her life and how she can't forget about them. And then this book starts off at the end of this book, but it starts off at the end of this one, and then it goes back in time to the 8 months after the ending of this book, and then you learn about everything. And this one is the only one that's got dual point of view, so this actually has another person's point of view, who you'll find out about in this one, and you learn about the whole series. So then the whole series makes more sense about everything, because you learn about this guy who's the main guy in it, but it's really hard to explain. I've been trying to explain this for basically 5 minutes now. Basically just read these books. I will, if you want to know more about these, just either go on my TikTok and you'll see loads of videos, or go on TikTok and find out, because I'm really bad at explaining. But these books are fantastic. I literally read these in a week. If I put them together the amount of time it took me, I read a whole series in a week. So if that doesn't say a lot, I don't know. I also be ready to cry. I was bawling my eyes out in this one for a solid hour. This one I didn't cry, this one I did, and this one I cried as well for about 20 minutes. And I'm not a book crier. I do not cry at books ever, and I've never been heartbroken from a book ever. I've never been so emotionally attached to a book ever. Like, I mean, like, these characters have my heart, and I've never experienced that before until now, and I need everyone to read this. I'm really bad at explaining, and I'm really, really, really sorry I'm so bad at explaining. But all I gotta say is, I'm emotionally attached and cannot stop thinking about these books, and I already want to reread them, and I literally finished them 2 days ago. Now, if that doesn't say anything at all, I don't know what else to tell you to read these books. These will be linked in the bio. All the books I have read will be linked downstairs. Now we got that confusion out the way. Very sorry about that discussion. The first book I actually read this month was Verity by Colin Hoover. Now, this was actually on my April TBR. I only had 3 books in it, and I succeeded at reading 2 of them. But this book is basically about a writer that's in financial ruin, needs to get some money, and then she's being given this opportunity of a lifetime, and she decides to take it. She needs the money, so she ends up living at this guy's house when with the husband's house, but the wife lives there, but she's been in a car accident and cannot write the books, i.e. why Lowen has to come in and write the books for him. And she finds this manuscript, and it's all about her finding out about the family, finding out about her, Verity, the author, and trying to write this book, but also trying to work out if she's actually safe in the house or not. It is a thriller. Colin Hoover, of course, brilliant. I read this book in about 3 days, and basically if I read a book fast, it's a good book for me personally. And any Colin Hoover book is fantastic. This had me on edge. I was reading this once late at night, and I actually freaked myself out. I'm not very good with like thriller, especially if I'm reading very late at night. I was reading this about 10 o'clock at night, and I fully freaked myself out. I wouldn't recommend if you're a bit like me and a bit of a scaredy cat. But fantastic. The suspense was incredible. I ended this book and I was like, I don't understand what's happened, and I don't understand what I believe, but my god, did I love it. Like, I love all Colin Hoover books I've read so far, but this has to be one of the top tiers, just because it grabbed me and I was like so confused. And I'm not very good at thrillers. I don't really like thriller books, to be honest. I'm trying to kind of get into them, but this one, yes, it had books in it, had the romance in it I like from Colin Hoover with the suspense and the thriller, and it was like a perfect mix of everything for me. So this was a 5-star. By the way, I've got to let you know, all these 3 books were all 5 stars from me, just to let you know. And then the next book I read after, well, finished first, was this Poison Heart by Caitlin Bayron, I'm going to say. So this book is a YA book. The last books have not been YA, by the way. They're all adult books. But this one is a YA book, and it is about a girl called, I'm going to call her Brie because I can't actually say her name. And she has a gift, and she can grow things like plants and things. And then she lives with her moms. She has 2 mums, which is really nice because it's got like a sapphic bit in it. And she inherits this old house from her birth mother, and she goes in and learns all about it. And it's like fantasy based in this world, meeting new people, moving to this new town, finding out more about herself and learning about her powers. There is another book to this sequel, so it's not a standalone, but this was a brilliant, just really easy, nothing too complicated kind of fantasy that I liked. I don't like complicated fantasy, to be honest, because fantasy already confuses me enough, so I like an easy one. And it had great representation from black people in the books, because there was quite a few black representations, which I found really, really nice. It had really great sapphic representation as well, and it had a bit of Greek mythology in it, which I thoroughly enjoyed. It was my first kind of Greek mythology kind of book, and I really, really enjoyed it, and it's making me want to read more. It was like subtle. It wasn't like Greek mythology in your face. It was like kind of subtle and nice, which I really, really liked, and I cannot wait to read the next one. This was kindly gifted to me. It was my first ever book fairy actually gifted this to me like a good 6 months ago, and I've only just got around to reading it. But my god, am I glad. It took me a while to get around to reading it. I don't know why. I was just feeling other books, and then I saw it on my shelf and I was like, I want to give this a go. And also the cover is absolutely stunning, and it is a stunning book. If you can find this, I would definitely pick it up, but it is a very easy, very simple kind of read, and that's just what I needed this month, and it was brilliant. The next book that I started before this Poison Heart, but actually finished after, was The Ninth House by Leah Bugado. I don't know how to say this. Oh, by the way, this was like 3 stars. This book is a fantasy one again. It is about Alex Stern, who is a Yale freshman and is part of the Ninth House, and it's all about magic, and like she has to have a fresh start because she was a druggie, but like she could see these things called greys, which are ghosts, which normal people can't see, but she could always see them, and she had a really bad past with them. And so it's all about that, and there's this guy in it called Darlington. I've forgotten a lot about this book because I did not enjoy this book. There's forbidden magic in it, dead people, like she's trying to solve this dead person's like why they died, with also trying to learn everything else and like survive because her mentor's not there, and almost gets killed a lot of the time. And this book confused me. There's a part 2 coming out, like there's a second one to this, which is about Darlington, because, well, I can't give it away why, but like that bit, like I would like to read it, but if it's as confusing as this one is, no thank you. Like this book for me was so confusing. It took me so long to read. I didn't understand any of it. I still don't understand this book, and I finished it. Like nothing to me got explained. I'm just confused. Like nothing got explained. Like it just jumped straight in. I was like, what's happening? I don't understand this book, and it just carried on like that throughout the entire thing. And this is a hefty book, and I just didn't enjoy it. Now, if you want to give it a go, I guess you could. I would personally get it out from the library or get it really cheap, but this book just confused me and I don't understand any of it. So yeah, that was that. And then the second to last book was, I got this out from the library. Now I'm actually like kept it just so I could show you. I need to give this back tomorrow, but this is Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I gave this 3 stars. The layout of this book is really interesting. It's like this person said this person said this, and it's like laid out like that, and it's about an interview of this band called Daisy Jones and the Six, and how Daisy Jones started and became who she was, and how the Six became who they was, and then how they get banded together with Daisy Jones and the Six and their life. And it was good. I liked some of the, it's like Fleetwood Mac vibes. That's what this gives me, Fleetwood Mac vibes. And I enjoyed it. It had a lot of bands in that I knew, like The Boss, Jackson Brown, etc. Like it had a lot of bands in that I know that I've grown up with. Now, I did not like the writing style. Did not like the writing style at all. It was not my thing, which is why I've given it 3 stars. But it was an immaculate vibes. I liked the vibes. I didn't like how it was written, and it took me a lot longer than I thought it would. But it was an easy read. This one also is an adult one. This one is as well. But this one has a bit of sex in it, and drugs and rock and roll. This one doesn't. But I didn't like, the vibes were immaculate, but I didn't like it. So I gave it 3 stars. But I need to read more of her stuff. So I've got a few books coming out of the library soon from her. But yeah, I didn't vibe with this. This wasn't it for me, to be honest. The next book was The Sweet Spot by Annie Kemp. I'm going to put the image right here in this little box here. And this was an arc that I got given by Annie Kemp. It is a novella, and it's a small town romance with the brother's best friend. And it's kind of like foodie, like he's a foodie and she's a foodie, and it's an influencer. It was a really, really nice short book. I did want more from it. I won't lie, like I wanted more. But I didn't realise it was a novella until the author told me. I was just like, free arc, yes, come my way. But basically, the book is about a small town kind of vibe, and it starts off, which is really funny, with the main character getting her hand stuck in the toilet, and guess who comes and rescues her? Her crush of childhood and always. And he went away, but now he's back to kind of help out, and they both like each other, but they can't be together because of him being her brother's best mate. And it's all about that, and about them finding their relationship, and about how, like, they're adults now and their life and this small town kind of vibes. I'm very excited. There is a lot more in the series about all the other characters, which I would like to read. It's already out. It'll be out on the 1st of May. So the day this goes up, it will be out, this book. And I think the rest of her books, they're 99p for about 8 books. And this vibe of this little small town is immaculate. It's in Charlottetown. Like, they go to Charlottetown, which is in the Flock series, the Ravenhood series, which I read this before the Ravenhood ones. The other 2 were charlatans, like, mentioned, and that confused me. I'm not from America, as you can tell, so I don't know about where places are. But that was quite funny, actually, how the small town is near something that was in another book that I've read. But yeah, I love this book. I cannot wait to read the other ones. I have an arc from Annie Kemp coming in June, which I'm so excited for. I cannot bloody wait. And yes, 1st of May, out the day this goes out, go pick it up for 99p on Kindle. I don't think they will be physical copies, but if you're a Kindle reader, 99p is well cheap for 8 books, so I would go pick it up straight away. Like, just go pick it up. So that's the last book that I actually read this month. Now, the books that I would probably recommend, as you can probably tell, would be the Ravenhood series. Will make you cry. Be ready for it. But my god, you will fall in love. Verity, because I recommend every single Colin Hoover book. And The Sweet Spot, just because it was a great novella. And if you want easy reading, sweet, small town romances, get that series. Get the 99p one. I will put everything down below for you guys. And yeah, there are the 8 books I read this month. Kind of mental that I've read 8 books. But yeah, I'm very, very happy I have. I actually did read part of a book called The Pact. I'll put it here. I got it out from the library. I was about like 200 pages through it, and I just did not vibe with it. I was trying to read something new, and it was like crime thriller. Not really, like, I loved it up until a point where I just got bored, because it's about these people that are very privileged, and they cause a car accident, and then they cover it up, and this girl called Megan gets sent to prison for 20 years. And it's when she comes out, but before she went in, she was like, right, you're signing this waiver, we're telling everyone what happened, you're all signing it, I've got a photo of you all together, every single one of you owes me a favour, and I can recall that favour whenever I want. Any of you break it, I will dog you all in, you will all go. And these are like pretty rich people, like 20 years on, they're all pretty minted. and it's all about that, and I enjoyed it up until a point where it was just repetitive, like, what's she doing, what's she doing, what's she doing, and I was just like, I'm bored now, I don't want to finish it, I'm just bored, I'd rather read other books. And I kept it, and then I started reading the Ravenhood series, and I was like, I'm not going to carry on reading this book, I would rather read these. So I just gave it back to the library, because I was like, I'm not going to finish it. If I want to try it again, I kind of know where I am, I can just pick up again, but right now, no. So I gave that back, but I did read quite a lot of it, so it's an interesting book if that's your kind of thing. It wasn't my thing, so I didn't read it, but if you're into that thing, it was a good book for that kind of vibe. Currently I just want romance and love, to be honest with you, and that's what I want. So yeah, but there are the books that I read this month. If you did like this video, please give this a thumbs up. Comment down below the books that you read this month and whether or not you liked them or enjoyed them. Don't forget to subscribe for more bookish content and click the notification bell to be notified every time I do upload. I upload on a Sunday at 10 AM, but that possibly may be changing. I might change it to a different day. Now uni is finished, so we'll have to find out. But yeah, I hope you like this video, and I'll see you guys next time in my next video.